Om Namo Devaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Neshtake Om Jnana Timarandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Sri Caitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagarajatam Sahagana Raghunatarvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Deva Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Karta Radha Kanta Namastate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namani Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirviseshasha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatari Panchakalpa Tarubhyasya Kripa Sindhu Vaevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasani Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Sorry for that. We continue reading from Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 3, Chapter 15, Text 48, where the Kumaras are just so enamored by seeing the personal form of the Lord. They're so attracted by seeing the personal form of the Lord. Although they had seen the Brahma Jyoti before, but now by seeing the Lord personally, they're saying, oh, we were foolish to be attracted to the Brahma Jyoti. So reading on, Natyantikam Viga Nayanti Apite Prasadam Kim Anyad Arpita Bhayam Bhruva Onayeste Ye Angatvad Angari Sharana Bhavata Kathayaha Kirtanya Tirtha Yashasaha Kushala Rasagyaha. Persons who are very expert and most intelligent in understanding things as they are engaged in hearing narrations of the auspicious activities and pastimes of the Lord, which are worth chanting and worth hearing. Such persons do not care even for the highest material benediction, namely liberation, to say nothing of other less important benedictions, like the material happiness of the heavenly kingdom. Wow, so what are the four Kumaras are saying? The four Kumaras are saying the intelligent people, the most intelligent people, the expert people, what do? What they are trying to hear and chant the pastimes of the Lord, which are, because those are that is what is worth hearing and chanting. We make so many, we think, oh, being intelligent means I should know how to do some material activity very well. You know, how to become expert in some material field very well, how to get out of a material circumstance very well, or how to make a lot of money very well, how to become famous. And we think those things are signs of intelligence. But what is the Kumara saying? What is the sign of true intelligence, the most intelligent, the expert? What are they doing? They're just hearing and chanting about the Lord. Huh? That's all that I have to do. I just have to hear and chant. That's all. But I have so much, ability. I have so much intelligence. I need to show that off. All that we are supposed to do is just hear and chant. Otherwise we're always trying to show the world, oh, how intelligent I am. I can do this, I can do that. And then such person, so means the pure devotees are the most intelligent. And then they do not even care for the highest material benediction, namely liberation. So liberation is also called as material benediction here. The Fukumaras who were on the platform of liberation, they are calling liberation or moksha or mukti, whatever, they're calling it material. And why they're saying it material, anyone?
Because you're still going to the Brahma Jyoti, right? So that's still material.
It's not yet although it's in the spiritual area, but it's not yet in the spiritual planet. And also because the desire is there, material desire that I want to be in the Brahman. That, the very purification of the desire has not yet happened, that I want to be with Krishna and I want to just please him.
Right.
Yeah, that desire is still there, that I'm Brahman. I am the Brahman. So that I is still there.
The ego.
Right? Yeah, that ego is still there, that I'm Brahman, I'm separate from Krishna. So that's why. So then, and other material happiness is called less important, but all our energy, whole day, we are working for this material happiness. All our words and thoughts and activities are going for this material happiness. But the Fukumaras are saying the most intelligent, they are engaged in hearing and chanting. So we just try to hear and chant as much as we can and see everything else in relation to Krishna. Whatever we do, we see it in relation to Krishna. Okay, the transcendental bliss enjoyed by the devotees of the Lord is completely different from the material happiness enjoyed by less intelligent persons. The less intelligent persons in the material world are engaged by the 4 principles of benediction called Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. But then why they are called most intelligent? Because they are feeling even a higher happiness than what we are feeling. The pure devotees are feeling a higher happiness, completely different from the happiness that we feel when we are engaged in Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. They are feeling transcendental happiness, a happiness which is beyond this world, beyond the body. It's the happiness on the platform of the soul, because it's in relation to Krishna. Krishna is transcendental. He's the reservoir of happiness. So because the devotee is feeling so much happiness, that's why they don't care for the material happiness. So generally people in the world, they prefer to take to religious life to achieve some material benediction, and the purpose of which is to satisfy the senses. When by that process, they become confused or frustrated in fulfilling the maximum amount of sense enjoyment, they try to become one with the Supreme, which is according to their conception, mukti or liberation. So what is this Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha? So, like people, what they say, okay, I'm going to take up religious life. I'm going to do some pious activity. And with this pious activity, why do we want to do pious activity? So that we can get some money, some opulence. And then that is Artha. Then why do we want that? Kama, so that we can enjoy our senses. At every moment, we are wanting to enjoy our senses, eat to the best capacity, sleep, or mating, or defending, whatever. Then we realize, oh, how much ever I'm doing is just still frustration in this world. Oh, there's still frustration. No matter how much I'm trying to enjoy my senses, it's still frustration. So then moksha, everything is false. Because of this frustration, then people say, oh, everything is false. I'm going to become supreme now. I'm going to have mukti or liberation. Okay. So this is the purpose that most of the people do. But that is just still everything is material. Bhagavatam is teaching us, you engage in hear and chant. That is true religion. That is what religion is all about, hearing and chanting about Krishna. So there are 5 kinds of liberation. The least
so important. This also, sorry, is material.
Material.
material benediction, material enjoyment, material happiness.
Which one?
This dharma, artha,
Dharma,
kama,
artha, kama, moksha. Yeah.
moksha,
Yeah, it's all to do with the body.
body.
That's why it's material. And that's the reason Bhagavatam, right in the beginning, in the first canto, second verse, first canto, first chapter, second verse, Bhagavatam immediately rejects this dharma, artha, kama, moksha and says this is Caitava dharma. It says it's cheating religion, Caitava dharma, cheating religion, because people think this is religion, dharma, artha, kama, moksha, but it is cheating. Why? Why do you think it's cheating religion?
Because it's not taking you to the ultimate, like, to be with Krishna.
That's right.
That's the ultimate, right?
That's right. It is still going to keep you in this material world.
Okay.
Yeah. By doing dharma, artha, kama, moksha, we are still in this material world. Not yet gone into our spiritual identity. So then how come moksha is still material? Again, we are understanding here. The least important is sayujya mukti, to become one with the Supreme. Devotees don't care for such liberation because they're actually intelligent. Devotees never accept moksha, mukti, liberation, sayujya mukti, or merging in the body of the Supreme Lord, or merging in the light as liberation. Why? Anyone?
I didn't get the question. Sorry.
Devotees.
I don't understand the question.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there are 5 kinds of liberation. The one kind of liberation is merging inside the body of the Supreme Lord, the divine light, merging in sitting in the divine light or the Brahma Jyoti.
Okay.
But the devotees, here Bhagavatam is saying, devotees don't care for such liberation because they are actually intelligent. So why the devotees don't care for such liberation? It's a very high platform. It's beyond the material world.
Service of Krishna. It's not in the service.
It's not?
In the service of Krishna.
That's right. That's right.
Because they don't want to be anything around it. They want to be at his feet, serving him, so that's internal happiness they get with that. Not like, okay, I've merged with the light, or I've gone to the, so heavenly planet or whatever. They're not interested in all that.
Yes, that's right. Thank you. Thank you. And because why they don't want to be in the light? The light is also happiness. It's beyond the material world. So there is so much happiness there. But then why they still want to be with Krishna, serve Krishna? Serving means I have to do work. Why then?
And then that is what makes them feel happy. That's their pleasure.
Because that is the highest pleasure any soul can feel. Any soul, the highest pleasure we can feel is when we are actually serving Krishna. Because that's our true position. That's right. That's the highest pleasure. Like the 4 Kumaras we are hearing now. They were sitting in the light. They were in this Brahman platform. But now when they see the Lord, they are like, oh my God, it's so much more beautiful to be with the Lord. I'm feeling so much more happier that I'm able to see the Lord. I can smell the tulsi on his feet, and I can see how he's beautifully decorated. They're finding that more happy than just being in the light, in the Brahman. Yeah, so.
In the Brahman, there's no activity.
There's no activity. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So there is happiness, of course, because it's away from the material world. So there is no misery and there is happiness, but there is no activity. And so even one reaches the Brahman platform, mostly they will still come back to this material world, maybe after millions of years, but they will come back because the soul always needs to be active. Always searching for Krishna, always has this relationship with Krishna. That's our true position. That means liberation, to be situated in our true spiritual form. That is truly liberation. So that's why devotees don't care about this Sayujya Mukti. So nor are they inclined to accept any of the other 4 kinds of liberation. So now we just said there are 5 kinds of liberation. The first liberation is to merge into the divine light. So devotees don't want that at all. They don't even say that that is liberation. Bhagavatam says that's not even liberation because it's so temporary. There's no Krishna there. There's no activity there. And the soul is going to come back to the material world. Now, what are the other 4 kinds of liberation? Live on the same planet as the Lord. So this is in the Vaikuntha world. This is in the spiritual world. That after leaving this material world, one soul in the spiritual form can live in the same planet where Lord Narayan is living, or to live with him side by side as an associate. So have a personal association of the Lord, or to have the same opulence, be as rich as the Lord, or to attain the same bodily features. How we saw that, what's that? Jai Vijay, they have 4 arms. Narayan also has 4 arms. So same bodily features. All these are liberations.
Do you know the names in Sanskrit?
Yeah. So then to live on the same planet is, the same bodily features, that's Sarupya. Sarupya Mukti means to have the same bodily features. Then the same opulence is Sarshti. Have the same Sarshti. Then Samipya. Samipya is to be as an associate of the Lord. And same planet is Saloka. Be on the same planet, Saloka.
Right.
And this merging into the light, that's called Sayujya. Sayujya, which the devotees don't even call as liberation. So there are these 5 kinds of liberation or mukti. So now, what the devotees, the pure devotees, they don't even want this. They don't want to have the same opulence as the Lord. They don't want to have 4 arms, same bodily features as the Lord. They don't want to live on the same planet as the Lord. They don't want to sit side by side as an associate of the Lord. Why? These are very, very difficult positions to reach. They're in the spiritual world. They're not in the material world. Means they're already in their spiritual form. They don't have material body anymore. So they are as the the soul has its spiritual body in this in any of these 4 kind of liberation. But why? Because they are only concerned with glorifying the Supreme Lord and his auspicious activities. What did pure devotees want? They want to hear and chant. Pure devotional service is Shravanam Kirtanam. They want to hear and chant the glories of the Lord. Pure devotees who take transcendental pleasure in hearing and chanting the glories of the Lord do not care for any kind of liberation, even if they are offered the 5 liberations. They refuse to accept them, as stated in the Bhagavatam in the 3rd canto. So even if Krishna is giving this liberation to the pure devotee tells Krishna, my dear Lord, it's okay. I don't want all this to have 4 arms like you have. I don't want to be on this same planet, on the Vaikuntha planet, or I don't want to have the same riches as you have, or just to live on the same planet that you have. What the devotee wants is the highest. He wants to be with Krishna. He always wants to hear and chant the glories of Krishna. So when a pure devotee is hearing and chanting the glories of Krishna, means what? He is with Krishna, because Krishna is absolute. There is no difference between Krishna's name, fame, form, activities, qualities, pastimes. So this is the highest and true liberation. Means he's already in Golok Vrindavan, having a personal relationship with Krishna. So that's the reason the pure devotees don't want to go to Vaikuntha, because the other 5 kind of liberation, the 4 kind of liberation is in Vaikuntha, and one is just in the Brahman platform. But the pure devotees, they want Golok Vrindavan. They want Krishna himself. And then they are like, okay, wherever we are, whichever planet we go to, hell, heaven, wherever, we want just pure devotional service, transcendental pleasure in hearing and chanting. Oh my God, but there's so much misery here in this world, and hellish planet will be so much more misery. Then why do they want that? Because even though they are in this material world, they are not of this world. They are on the transcendental platform, on the platform of the soul, in their own spiritual identity. Like yesterday we were hearing, Rupa Goswami is here. He was here as Rupa Goswami. Outside people are seeing him as Rupa Goswami. But internally, where's his consciousness? He's Rupa Manjari, and he's serving Radha and Krishna. So that is pure devotees. This is the mysteries of devotional service. Is that okay?
Yes.
So that's why a pure devotee just wants to hear and chant the glories, because they're just happy being with Krishna. Hearing and chanting glories of Krishna means we are being with Krishna. The more we hear and chant, the more we will feel the presence of Krishna. So then, pure devotees who take transcendental pleasure in hearing and chanting the glories of the Lord do not care for any kind of liberation. Even if they are offered the 5 liberations, they refuse to accept them. Materialistic persons aspire for the sense enjoyment of heavenly pleasure in the heavenly kingdom, but devotees reject such material pleasure at once. So what materialistic persons? So now we say, okay, how can I enjoy my senses more? On this earth planet, surely I can enjoy my senses, but if I become a demigod, if I go to the Swargalok, over there I will have more pleasure. Women are more beautiful, men are more beautiful. The tastes of the food is more rich. The scenery is so much more beautiful there. The nature looks so much more beautiful. The smells, the flowers are so much more beautiful. So there are one kind of people who want to go there. But what the devotees want to do, at once they reject it. They at once reject it. The devotees does not even care for the post of Indra. So even if Krishna tells him, you become Indra, the devotee says, please, my dear Lord, I don't want to be Indra. Why? A devotee knows that any pleasurable material position is subject to be annihilated at a certain point. So his desire is not to become Indra. The desire of the pure devotee is, let me just hear and chant. Taste, to really experience Krishna, to really taste Krishna. So even if one reaches the post of Indra, Chandra, or any other demigod, he must be dissolved at a certain stage. So Indra, Chandra, these are all post. You know how we have post Minister of Agriculture, Minister of Finance, like that. So if we want, we can become Indra and Chandra. If we have the desire, okay, let me be a good devotee, but I still have desire to manage, desire to control, desire for opulence, then Krishna can make us in a demigod position. But what Bhagavatam is trying to bring us to a point, Bhagavatam is trying to tell us that, just by hearing and chanting, you'll feel happy. So don't go take so much endeavor. Don't take so much endeavor. Be situated in original position of the soul. And what's the original position of the soul? Hearing and chanting. So a devotee is never interested in such temporary pleasure. From Vedic scriptures, it is understood that sometimes even Brahma and Indra fall down, but a devotee in the transcendental abode of the Lord never falls. So we have seen Brahmaji, Indra, many times they will make mistakes. Indra got proud, so that's why Krishna did the Govardhan Lila to break the pride. Indra many times, he stole the horse of Prithu Maharaj. We are going to be hearing that many times. But so we should not disrespect Indra. He is just an example. Krishna is using him as an example to show us that even if you become Indra, these desires you will have, and you might become proud, and you might become angry and arrogant. So you're still in the material world. So these are high personalities, which we should give them all respect. But the desire should be, let me go back home to Krishna. Let me just go back home to Krishna. So this transcendental stage of life in which one feels transcendental pleasure in hearing the Lord's pastimes is also recommended by Lord Caitanya. When Lord Caitanya was talking with Ramananda Raya, there were varieties of suggestions offered by Ramananda regarding spiritual realization. So in Caitanya Caritamrta, we are going to be reading this part. It's there also in Teachings of Lord Caitanya in a shorter book, smaller book. This very important conversation between Lord Caitanya and Ramananda Raya. Ramananda Raya is a pure devotee of the Lord. He was a very close associate of Lord Caitanya. He is actually an expansion of Vishakha Devi and Arjuna. Yeah, Vishakha Devi, the Gopi. So you see the personalities in Krishna Lila, they came also in Chaitanya Lila. But because, of course, Lord Chaitanya is a man, he's a sannyasi in the form, he's in that form of a sannyasi. So all these associates, they came also in male forms. Gadadhar Pandit, and Gadadhar Pandit is an expansion of Srimati Radharani. So anyway, so there was this conversation between Lord Chaitanya and Ramananda Raya, where Lord Chaitanya is asking him, what's the highest? What's the highest? And Ramananda Raya kept giving one by one. But Lord Chaitanya kept rejecting all of them. But he said, yes, that one should hear the glories of the Lord in association with pure devotees. That is acceptable for everyone, especially in this age. One should engage himself in hearing from pure devotees about the activities of the Lord. That is considered the supreme benediction for mankind. So Lord Chaitanya, he's Krishna himself. He came 500 years ago to give us this Yuga Dharma, chanting of the holy name. And how we can get the true liberation. True liberation means situated in our true spiritual form, in our relationship with Krishna. And he said, just hear the glories of the Lord in association with pure devotees. Means hear from the pure devotees, discuss the glories, that is the supreme benediction for mankind. In Kali Yuga, we do not have so much intelligence, we do not have so much time, our minds are fickle, we are not able to take up the difficult processes of meditation, austerity, penance. So we have been given this very easy method, just hearing and chanting in the association of devotees. And that is the benediction for us. Is that okay?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so what we have to do, we continue hearing and chanting. We continue hearing and chanting. So we are very grateful for Krishna's arrangement. So giving us this very nice arrangement, he's allowing us to hear and chant in the association of devotees.
Supreme benediction
for Krishna, for Srila Prabhupada. We are hearing from Srila Prabhupada, from Sukadev Goswami. Bhagavatam spoken by Sukadev Goswami, Prabhupada is giving us in English. We are trying to discuss Bhagavatam and the other scriptures in the association of devotees. And that is what is, it's just that's what's needed in Kali Yuga. Anybody wanted to add anything?
No, all good.
Good.
Sounds very easy, but still it's not that easy, right?
Yeah, but we are doing it to whatever degree. We are, this is what we are doing, right? Hearing and chanting the glories of Krishna, hearing from Bhagavatam.
Right.
Then now we are going to hear Caitanya Caritamrta and Bhagavad Gita Isopanisad. This is what it is. We just do it. We are trying. What else can we do, right?
Right.
What else?
And that you should do continuously, satata.
Satata, yeah. Regularly. We are trying our best every day to collect together, to discuss Bhagavatam, to hear. And this is very pleasing to Krishna.
Yes.
This is pleasing. This is how we are pleasing Krishna.
Today, like when I was just driving and when I saw outside the clouds, the sun, the mountains, the weather was so beautiful. And then one thing struck to my mind, because I was also listening to the lecture Bhagavatam, like what you were talking. Then I realized that, yes, you have mentioned that all these clouds, all these mountains, all these trees, they are part of Krishna's body. So they have to be beautiful. Because I always used to think that why does this attract us? Why? Like whenever we go out and whenever we look at the nature, we say, wow, so beautiful mountains. Look at the clouds. They are so beautiful. Look at the sky, the moon, the sun. Why? Because they are part of Krishna, and anything that is part of Krishna has to be beautiful. And we are part of Krishna. That's why we are beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, that's right. Thank you.
Thank you.
So we'll end on that beautiful note today. Thank you so much for listening. And Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Shilpa Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare Krishna.